All right, guys, welcome to the Crypto Effect. I'm here with Warble, and it is May 13th, around 7:30 p.m. Central, and we've got Memcoin Mania.
What's up,
So,
Brad?
huh?
I said, what's up?
What's going on? So, meme coins have been running the show for most of this week. As a matter of fact, going in a different direction than Bitcoin, Warble, you actually aped into a couple and made some profit, yeah?
I did actually. There was, of course, I got into Australian Safe Shepherd last. I think it was at the end of the last show.
Uh huh.
And then I got into a few others during the week, and I'm kind of looking at them as quick profits.
Yeah.
I'm certainly not holding on to them for any length of time. But hey, why not buy into the hype and make some quick profits to put back into the more quality projects. Is kind of the way I look at it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't fully understand the whole meme coin. I understand a meme coin, but I understand the hype behind it. Except for it's like gambling, and who doesn't like throwing some stakes into a little bit of gambling? I'm not going to put a whole chunk of money in it, but it is fun to chunk $100 in, and then literally the next day you could pull out $1,000. It's a little ridiculous.
I did fairly well with Australian Safe Shepherd like that.
Yeah.
Originally I think I threw $100 into it, and within a couple days, I think it was up 1,300%.
Wow.
Maybe a little bit more.
Wow, because I remember you told me about the Australian Safe Shepherd last week when we started the show, last Thursday.
Right.
And yep. I thought you were joking, and so yeah, I mean, you actually got the brunt of that run up. I jumped into it on like Monday after you told me you were up like 1,000%. Yeah. And so even after you made the initial run of 1,000%, I still got in and made 300 or 400%, which is pretty astounding, to be honest. But it's leveled off now. Hasn't really been doing anything all day today. It's been sitting around whatever this is, 8021, and it's been sitting around here. I noticed my portfolio hasn't really moved after that initial, just look at that, because you got into it, what was that you said? It was last Thursday, which was the 6th. So I mean, you got into it at the exact perfect time. Got into it exactly when you were.
Yeah, it was a pretty lucky, I saw it, and I was looking at the volume, I was looking at the the current price, and I said, what the heck, just throw some in and see what happens. But on the 7-day, we're talking 1,850%.
Yeah, I mean, that's just massive, and you can see like it hasn't really moved today. But I think there's a reason, besides Bitcoin dropping and then all altcoins going with it, there's a lot of these meme coins we haven't seen even really do much. They've just been like sitting where they're at, and I wasn't really sure where they're at except for Shiba Inu and Akita, and I didn't know this until you brought it up. But the giant donation that was given to India from Vitalik was basically a rug pull.
Yeah, pretty much.
Is that what you'd call it? Would you call it a rug pull?
I don't see how you can classify it any other way, to be honest. I mean, it was, it was basically the developers of Shiba Inu throwing, 50% of the supply in Vitalik's wallet, and sort of, saying we're entrusting that this guy, is supposed to be the, the figure for Ethereum, decentralized finance, pretty much. Yeah. And it was sort of them saying, we're going to throw it in his wallet and entrust him with it. They could have burned it, but that completely backfired, obviously. I mean, he tried to spin it in such a way, and I think this is the part that really bothered me the most, is that he tried to spin it that, I'm donating this to charity, but the reality is, by the time that he pulled the liquidity out of the pool for it, it pretty much was illiquid at that point. I mean, and when he sent it over to India,
Yeah.
at that point in time, if they really wanted to cash it out, the amount that they're actually going to get for it is a fraction of what it was worth when he pulled it out. And the fact is, he's also getting a hell of a tax, a tax break, because this is going. It basically it counts as a charity. So
Mm-hmm.
the whole thing was really shitty, in my opinion.
It really feels dirty. It's like, oh, all you greedy, crypto exchangers, y'all want to invest in this, crypto that's worthless. Here, I'm just going to take your money and I'm going to give it to India. I mean, it's a weird kind of thing to think about, because he's doing something good, but he's robbing Peter to pay Paul, or you know what I mean? It's he didn't do it through the most trusted way, I guess.
No, but I mean, the way I look at it is, why didn't he? If he really was truly trying to help the COVID relief fund in India, he could have taken some of his own money, not other people's money,
Mm-hmm.
and actually donated that to the COVID relief fund, instead of taking other people's money, and essentially crashing the market to invest, or to donate it to a charity. It's a really shitty thing.
It is really not good. He did it because they're saying that he did it for Shiba Inu, Akita, Doge, Elon, and that's all they're listing here. So he took 3 different coins that were being touted as meme coins, and basically just ripped out the liquidity and sent it to India's relief.
Yeah, he pretty much crashed the coin's price when he did that.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't, when he did it, because I don't really see. There's this dip here on Wednesday, May 12th. So yesterday it dipped from 4023 all the way down.
Well, that's pretty much when he did it. It was it was yesterday. I'm not 100% sure on the time that it started to occur.
Yeah.
But I do remember seeing I do remember seeing War on Rugs on Twitter talking about the fact that they kind of gave people a heads up, and they said, if you're holding SHIB, you may want to sell it now, because we're starting to see Vitalik's wallet transfer this, which was kind of was kind of alarming, since it's like, okay, wait a minute, this isn't really supposed to be moving, but yet it is.
Wow. So they were literally just watching his wallet and seeing the fact that he was moving the money in or out.
Yep.
Oh man. Okay. And then that and Doge Elon. So you see a little bit of a dip there, obviously probably being caused from his little stunt. And then Doge Elon Mars, or it's just Elon. Wow.
Yeah. So you can clearly see that's right there. That massive drop was when that occurred. Likely.
Yeah, that's obvious. I mean, that's like pretty much right in your face. So yeah, it ran up over since May 10th up to quite a bit. What is that? 100. I don't even know what that is. I can't even tell because there's so many zeros, but it's several 100%, and then just an instant drop on Doge. So, anyways, yeah, I mean that's that. I don't know what to think about them, to be perfectly honest. I can tell I don't like them already, but
well, for me, and I'm sure for a lot of other people, that really have been following Ethereum.
Mm-hmm.
you kind of want to put a little bit. You want to believe that the lead of a project, or the figure that represents a project such as Ethereum being the
Mm-hmm.
second biggest crypto asset, you really kind of want to think that the guy's got some integrity. And it's really unfortunate that he's essentially taking people. Something that the developers entrusted to say, we don't think you're going to touch this. But it's not that. It's like crashing. It's pretty much crashing the market, turning around and saying, well, I did this because I feel like it's a good thing to do.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's fine, except that I want to say there was also a case where he sent some of it to Coinbase and sold it as well.
Yeah.
So it's just, yeah, there's just a lot about it that's not good in my opinion for Ethereum.
Yeah. Okay.
It's
So actually,
unfortunate.
this coin had more than 7 billion in volume in the last 24 hours. SHIB is down roughly 38%. So he caused about at least a 38% dip after he started unloading a market cap of 9 billion. Oh my God. So one thing we've learned from Ethereum, Vitalik Buterin, is importance of community. We will not do anything which hurts any community, especially the retail community involved with SHIB. We will act responsibly. So this was in response to him pulling this little move. Wow. So yeah, that's unfortunate. That makes me not want to invest in Ethereum, even though like Ethereum's one of the top, coins out there. So that kind of sucks that it's him. But
Well, and a lot of people are actually, there's a movement that's, I don't know if I should say it's being led by War on Rugs,
mm-hmm.
but there's quite a movement right now on social media that's saying, there's a hashtag now, sell your ETH. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the long-term effect is going to be on this, and likely there won't really be any long-term effect.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think it's something that there's no regulation right now to say or do anything to Vitalik. Um, but
Right.
it's unfortunate for the people that did invest in those coins. And yeah, we all know they're shit coins. But the really, when it comes down to it, it's not just about the coin. It's about the actions that somebody that should have, he's got an influence, and the actions he took really doesn't bode well. I mean, it kind of says, you know what, rug pulling, it's nothing really wrong with it, as long as you can say you did something good.
Yeah.
Which that's kind of what it feels like to me.
Yeah. All right. Well, Vitalik not doing anyone any favors right now, I guess, except for India. I'll probably just I don't know. I'm not a big Ethereum holder to begin with, primarily because of the fees. But that just kind of made it worse. I think I'll make my luck with some of the other altcoins out there at the time. So Dogecoin running up over 30% off a tweet from Elon Musk. I'm so tired of Elon.
Old Elon.
You know, I don't know what it is. I actually really liked the guy before Saturday Night Live. Now I'm just annoyed.
Again, I go back to, I think we were talking about this last week. It's like, what is I don't get it. What is his end game? What is his nothing about what he's doing makes any sense to me.
No.
He pumps Doge, and then he turns around on Saturday Night Live and basically makes fun of it. He buys a whole metric ton of Bitcoin, and then he turns around and says Tesla's no longer going to accept it because it's bad for the environment.
Yeah.
I don't get this guy. I mean, I think he's done a lot for his industry, but I don't understand what his final game plan is in crypto. It makes no sense to me whatsoever.
Yeah, I really don't understand. So I guess he sent out a tweet working with Doge devs to improve system transaction efficiency, potentially promising. Basically saying that he's going to help Dogecoin make it no longer just a meme coin. He's going to make this the actual cryptocurrency of the not Bitcoin, not Ethereum, Dogecoin. And I just, why? Why? Because he can't get his hands on any other coin because it was so cheap that he can get his, he can do whatever he want with it, including making the price go up and down whenever he wants. Is that why?
Yeah, I really, like I said, I don't see any logic or any reason for what he's doing at all. I mean, it makes absolutely no sense to me.
I think it's because he can control it. He can control when it goes up. He can control when it goes down. Um, and now he's this, the Doge father, which whatever, I don't know what the hell that means, but I know what it means. But I think it's an ego trip on his side. I think this is basically
Well, and I do remember him, and the timing was really good on this because I remember, I want to say it was maybe 2 or 3 days ago. I do recall seeing him put a tweet out that said, should we accept Doge for Tesla vehicles, or should we accept Doge for cars? And then here we are 2 days later. He comes back and he says we're no longer accepting Bitcoin.
right.
So he's calculating. He definitely has an idea of what he wants to do, but boy, I would love to know what it is. Like it really just doesn't make any sense to me at all.
Yeah, it is calculated 100%. I mean, because yesterday was his little announcement on Twitter dropping the price of everything, and then just suddenly today is Dogecoin, working on a solution for Dogecoin. So those didn't come in that sequence on accident, for sure. And it's just, I know we're in that period where basically ever since the ever since the GameStop stocks, everyone's come to the realization that community moves the market. They know that now. This is not, I don't think this is any longer a secret that it's easier to work together than try to, guess this stuff. So we're seeing a lot more of this where communities are the reasons behind a lot of the success, whether the token deserves it or not. And
look at, and a perfect example of that, and I think I mentioned this to you before, is go look at some of the other meme coins out there right now, like Kishu Inu.
Yeah.
The community behind that coin right now is just, it's becoming impressive, if I'm being honest. They just announced that I think they've hit 30,000 followers on Twitter. They have over 75,000 wallets holding the coin. They also announced that they are planning to put a billboard up in Times Square.
Wow.
So, there's something about this coin, and it is a meme coin, but there is something about this specific coin. I can't really put my finger on it, but this one I find really interesting. And it's because of the community. It seems like their community is 100% behind them.
Well, it's got 60, so it's ranked number 200528. It's got 62,000 watch lists on 62,000 watch lists. I haven't actually looked at the fundamentals. It's just little meme, big dream. Appreciate this community focused, decentralized crypto with instant reward. You know what the rewards are?
Well, so if you hold their coin, you're constantly earning more of their coins.
Okay, so
it's one of those coins where there's a percentage. So every time somebody either sells or buys it, existing holders actually acquire more.
Oh, okay. 100 quadrillion. Oh yeah, I remember this. You bought some of this last week.
Yes. Yeah? Yep.
Again, another huge win for you on this. You must have really made out like a bandit on this. This sucker just ran. What did you say it ran?
So right now I've got an 1,850% on this one as well.
Wow. Another win.
So the funny thing here, and I don't normally like to throw out numbers of what I actually invested, but I can't resist with this one. So I threw $500 into this,
Uh-huh.
and am currently holding just shy of 10,000.
Okay.
So not a bad, not a,
Oh,
not a,
$10,000 from a $500 investment.
yes,
Wow. So it's like a lot. It's like a 20x.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Wow. So yeah, you can see here over the 7-day period, it ran 2,000%. Really makes you wish you put in like $5,000, huh?
It does.
Could you imagine?
But
But even looking at the rankings here, Australian Safe Shepherd ran 3,400%, over
yeah,
1,400% more than Kishu.
yeah, that's another. That's a really actually, it's another interesting project. And there's other ones. A couple of other ones I've come across recently that I
FEG,
threw some in.
FEG
What's that?
token, FEG token.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah,
panda
I threw in.
gorilla.
Yeah,
We
threw
talked
into
about
that.
Akita. Akita's only up 630%. Okay, so what do you think about these meme coins? Are they going to continue, or are we maxing them out here?
I think we're maxing them out. Unfortunately, I think it's fun. It is a gamble. We said it before.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think it's one of those things where you know, with everybody now into DeFi so much,
Yeah.
I think it's very easy to buy these, especially on PancakeSwap. It's very easy. Transaction fees are very cheap. Although having said that, Kishu Inu is actually on the Ethereum blockchain, so the transaction fees aren't so cheap. But a majority of all of these other tokens, like FEG and Australian Safe Shepherd, they're all on the Binance or the yeah, Binance Smart Chain.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, it's very simple to buy them, very cheap to buy them. So it's, I think you've got a lot of people just, they're gambling. They're throwing in they're throwing in $500, they're throwing in $1,000 and trying
Mm-hmm.
to see if they can, you know, make
Yeah.
a profit on them. And I think that's raising the price. I also think that's what's lowering the price on some of these other coins like Cake, BNB. Not so much BNB, but I think Cake.
Mm-hmm.
I think because people are actually selling some of it to take a gamble on some of these meme coins,
Yeah.
and I think that's what's causing some of the price declines on these other coins.
Yeah, you talked about almost all of these last week before this ran even happened, and you know I did not throw in anything except for the Australian that I threw in a few days ago, and I made 200-300%. But man, yeah, if I could do it all over, a little bit more forthright in my thinking, because we knew it was meme coins. So,
Yeah, it
but
definitely is. I would keep an eye on FEG, by the way, too.
FEG,
The thing I find sort of fascinating about this one is the fact that one, they seem to have a huge community following,
mm-hmm,
and two, they actually are working on a decentralized exchange. So they have products they're actually working on. It's not just them saying, "Hey, buy our community token, and you know, you get 5% of the the transactions from from holding it." There's a product behind their coin. So I'm going to keep an eye on this one. I have a feeling this one might make a lot of moves.
so it's more than just a meme at this point.
I
Um,
think it is, yeah. For this specific coin, yeah, I think it is.
hmm. Okay. All right. I'll have to. Yeah, I'll definitely start paying attention to that one then. Um. All right. So you like FEG? I'll probably look at this. Maybe get into that. Uh. What about polylastic? Pol X. How do you feel about Pol X?
I am super bullish on that right now. It has been talked about by two of the who I find most influential, I think, in terms of fundamental analysis. And one of those guys is the Moonwalker. I've talked about him quite a few times.
Mm-hmm.
it's one of those coins where right now, given the current price, you got to remember with Polylastic is that it was an IDO.
Right.
So of course you clearly can see it in their chart that, when the IDO was released, of course you have that drop. But we're settling right now, I think, in an area where it's sort of, you could call it sort of maybe a consolidation, but it's such a new project
Mm-hmm.
that I don't know if you can even say there's a consolidation because it's so new. It really hasn't had a chance to consolidate. But the price where it's currently sitting, I see it going. I see it going up from here to it. It could be a penny shortly. And if you look at the current price, that's a huge multiplier.
Yeah, I mean that's for a 300% at least. I remember you did tell me about this when it first came out. I believe it was a 001 set, and I just aped into it. I was like, "Oh, Warble's getting in it. I'm in it."
Yeah.
Especially after you told me about your meme season, I was like, "If you're, I'm no longer not aping into these coins because you're just maximizing your gains over the last week." And yeah, I made like 400%, I think, like because it went all the way up to almost a penny. Look at that. It actually did almost get to a penny.
Yeah, and I think I want to say that that's when it actually hit the market. But take a look at the date. So this really was released May 10th, maybe somewhere around there.
Uh-huh.
May 11th, beginning of May 11th. And if you look at that, I mean, this coin is literally 3 days old. But the interesting thing about Polylastic is that they have their product is really, it's super interesting. It
Oh,
I would encourage you guys to take a look at it. It is it's going to be a fully working product. And again, remember, it's 3 days old, and it's sitting at not even a penny at this point in time.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it looked like a good project when I was looking at it. So yeah, they have 100 billion tokens. The volume is currently 18 million in 24 hours. It's actually down 50%. Of course, I noticed when it came out on KuCoin a couple days ago, the volume was massive. So much volume for this. And then it's got a market cap of 34 million. So you can obviously see this sucker is really, you're right, it's just getting started. I think once it's fully opened up and people start recognizing it and they get their product out, yeah, you're going to see this in the pennies.
So the other thing I want to mention about the Polylastic team is the Polylastic team has experience. If you do look at their page, these guys have worked with Google, Bitfinex, they worked with Bank of America, they worked with DuckDAO, they worked with Holochain, they worked with Orion. And also the other thing is some of their partners is Surtech, Chainlink, and Binance Smart Chain. So absolutely, it's in my opinion a must buy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can see right here on my screen. This is their advisors. Chief advisor from Orion, business development from Surtech, and co-founder and CEO from Bridge. And then they have experience working with Google, Bitfinex, Fetch AI, Bank of America, DuckDAO, Holochain, and Orion. I mean, these are like AAA names that they're bringing in on this token. So how could it not be fantastic, right? And then collaborating partners, Surtech, Chainlink, and Binance Smart Chain.
Yeah, and we're not talking, and again, I go back to this is, again, guys, this is 3 days old.
Mm-hmm.
The price is literally 0.2 of a penny right now. So how can you not get into this?
Well, I have been buying. I bought a good amount at like 001, and then it went up, to 009, almost a penny. And then I got out just a little bit, and now it's come all the way back down to 003 cents, and I got back. I'm all the way back in.
So here's the thing too, Brad, I want to mention is I think the one selling point for me besides the team, because really, when I look at a project, I'm not just buying the token, I'm buying the team, right?
Uh-huh.
Same thing with traditional finance. When you buy a stock, you're buying the company, right? You're
Right.
buying a fraction of the company. So I'm buying the product here, but I'm also buying the team. But what I found interesting about these guys, and the biggest selling point, is their intention is to provide a product which serves as, it's sort of going to be serving as an index, which tracks, so goes across the entire DeFi space. And what it allows people to do is to purchase an index or purchase a token,
Uh-huh.
Polex, which then allows them to stake that token as an LP share, but then it gives them exposure to an index of different tokens.
Okay, so when they're
Um,
talking about index share token, they're going to have an index fund, basically, of tokens.
Absolutely.
Oh my
Yes.
God. Okay, so I understood a little bit of what they were talking about when they were looking at like indexing and staking, but I didn't realize you were actually buying into the
An
actual token.
index.
Oh,
Right. So think about it this way, right? You and I can go out, we can go to Pancake Swap, we can go to Uniswap, we can go to Orion, to 1inch, you name it.
mm-hmm.
What about people that are new, right? So they want exposure, right? You think about Grayscale for a second. Think about Bitwise Invest.
Mm-hmm.
People want exposure to these crypto assets, but they don't understand how to go out and purchase these. So something like Polylastic allows them to get exposure to it, just like Grayscale does, except that they're focusing on the DeFi space.
Mm-hmm.
And again, you're going to buy into an index. So I can think of, I can count a bunch of people right now in my head that really want exposure to crypto, but don't understand how to use MetaMask, don't understand how to do any of this other stuff in DeFi to get exposure. But when you look at something like Polylastic, they buy that, they have exposure.
Right.
So I can see this, this being absolutely huge.
Yeah, I mean, when we talk about it, it makes a lot more sense, and I I'm actually wondering how this is so cheap. It does seem like it should
Yeah,
be.
it's 3 days old.
I guess that's probably got to be it. It's got to be that it's just 3 days old, and there's there's just not a lot of marketing on it. I'm not sure how you discovered it, but as soon as I started looking into it, there's nothing bad about it that I can see. And now that we're sitting here talking about it, and you're talking about it being basically an index fund, that's one of the biggest. Are there any others that provide a LP as an index like that?
The only one that I can, really think about is a multi-million dollar, even billion-dollar company, Grayscale Investments, Bitwise Investments.
Yeah.
These guys are huge, and but in terms of something that you and I have sat here and talked about
Mm-hmm.
in the actual pure DeFi space, I'm not aware of any. So if anybody's if anybody is watching and they're in the chat, let us know if there's something. But I'm not aware of any specifically, which is the other reason that Polylastic really caught my attention.
Yeah, I mean, that makes me want to go get more. So we'll see. I may wait for it to come back down again. If it does, and I'm gonna grab some more of it. Yeah, that's incredible. That's awesome. Glad to know
Yeah,
that.
keep an eye on that one. I
Yeah,
think
I mean, it's only
that
got
one's
a
got.
$34 million market cap, right? And there is a little icon saying that maybe that's not exactly correct. But dang, I mean, I love the idea of a crypto index.
Yeah,
That's
well, I do too, because it gives exposure to people that are new, that may not understand enough to invest in
yeah,
individual tokens.
right. So that was another good project we want to talk about. Is there anything else that you want to talk about specifically before we wrap up the show? Pancake Swap is coming up back up a little bit. As you can see, we're back up to the 50,000 mark on Bitcoin. Ethereum hitting 3880 after being down to 3600. Binance back up to 590. So we're starting to see crypto come back a little bit. Cardano not really falling at all during the whole thing, and that happened the exact last time too. Do you remember that? Cardano has said it's just solid every time.
Cardano's a solid project. I think Cardano's going to continue to build value. Eventually it hits. I mean, it hits $3. It hits $5. I mean, it's inevitable that it'll eventually happen. Gosh, I just realized I said that, and I think that was one of Elon Musk's tweets. It was inevitable. I apologize. So I do think that I think that it will eventually go higher, but you're right, it's been holding its own. One thing I did want to mention real quick is I think if you're in the crypto space, anybody that's new, that's currently in the crypto space, there's a lot of FUD right now. One of the ones that I just saw this afternoon is there's this story going around, a news article going around that is basically saying that Binance is under the scrutiny or possibly being investigated by the IRS and the Security Exchange Commission for money laundering. I don't know if you saw that, but as it turns out, Binance very quickly clarified that this is not us under investigation. This article really is saying that we've worked with law enforcement the past couple of years for regulatory reasons. So, it's unfortunate. Mainstream media seems to twist, really seems to twist the headline for clickbait. And so I want to mention, if you're new in the space, do a little bit of research. Don't just read the headlines, because you will dump your coins, and you're gonna wish you hadn't, because a lot of the news that's out there is just not accurate.
Yeah, you'll notice that when you get in, that there's just a lot of bullcrap spread, and I don't know if it's just people trying to spread FUD and get something for cheaper, or what, but there's definitely a lot of it, and so far has it, like, it's almost never really come true, ever. No. And you've got a lot of market manipulation as well. People want to buy, they want to buy dips, and they'll create news to enable them to do that. Yeah. All right, before we wrap up, what are you buying this week?
I am probably going to keep my eye on the meme tokens.
You're going to continue with meme tokens to see if anything continues on with that trend right now.
Yeah, I am going to, and I may pick up. May pick up a little bit more Orion Protocol.
Okay.
I'm probably going to try to pick up, possibly depending on the price, maybe a little bit more VeChain, and I may even pick up a little bit more Polylastic as well.
Polylastic. Okay. I actually got notified about this token from one of the community members, Buoyancy or Buoyancy. It's like I can't think of it right now, but it's like a exchange or whatever. But it's already up 34% in the last 24 hours. It dropped down from 30 cents. So it's already, halfway back to where it was. But when it dropped back in September of 20, it actually came out at around $1.20. So I don't know if you've seen this one. This is another one that I'm probably going to keep an eye on. As you can see, it's already coming back up a little bit. And again, I do like Polyx or Polylastic. I probably will continue buying Polylastic. And the last one that I was going to bring up, which is what we were talking about before the show. Actually, there's a couple. The Crypto Prophecies has been doing really good this week. Oh, look at tardigrades, Binance. Wow, dude. This
Yep,
thing just
I got
went.
into that as well.
You
Yeah.
got into this one. You're nailing them perfect right now. I don't know how you're doing it so well, but
Yep, I got into that. I actually want to say I kind of aped into that one a little bit.
yeah,
Um,
we can actually see the markets are coming back right as we're talking. So I think we probably need to wrap it up, and then I'm gonna go buy some tokens, dude. I'm gonna go buy some crypto.
yeah, me too.
Yeah, because as we're sitting here talking, we're seeing the markets come back from this huge drop. Again, I really like crypto prophecies. I think that's going to be an up and comer. It's been hanging out around the 27 to 40 cent range. So anywhere you can grab it in there. And then that other one that we were just talking about before the show, what was it? CTSI.
CTSI, yeah.
CTSI. So I'm looking at that one right now. I'll probably go get that myself, but we'll probably wrap it up there. Any last thoughts?
The only thing I can say is just be very careful. Think about your, what you're willing to risk on these, because it's easy to ape into something and then all of a sudden be like, oh darn, now I'm down like 75%.
Yeah,
but it can
yeah.
also work the other way. So
Yeah, if you don't have the money and you're worried, dollar cost average, put a little bit in as the market drops, and then when you've hit that bottom, you can put the rest in. You may never know you hit the bottom, but just dollar cost average in as the market's going down, and then when it comes back, you'll be on the safe side. So guys, safe, be safe on your spending, be wise, and that's it. Yeah, we'll see you next week.
all right, thanks everyone.
And guys.